Taurus, hello. Amanda here. Welcome to Unseen Hands Healing. This is going to be your August shift reading. So we are looking at the shape you are shifting out of in the month of August, the shape you shift into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. Taurus, before we get into cards, we're going to use the Next World Tarot for you today. Before we get into cards, the image that was coming to me as I was sitting with your energy is the image of a worm. And it was an earthworm, but it was moving like an inchworm, which kind of tells me you're kind of, the earthworm tills the soil. That's what makes really rich and nutritious soil and earth is the worms, and the way that the worms digest the soil over time as they move themselves through and forward. And the fact that the inchworm kind of goes inch by inch. There's something about the long game in this message for you, Taurus, that you are taking things one step at a time, moving incrementally, inch by inch, and therefore creating a richer soil down the line. It's like you can't see the fruits of the earthworm immediately, but it's this like collective action of all of the earthworms in the soil just doing what they do over time that creates the earth, that creates this fertile, rich ground beneath our feet. So there is something about that like larger perspective and the slow and steady type inch by inch movement. Okay, so we're going to pull cards and see how that plays in. We're going to start by asking, what is the shape Taurus is shifting out of in the month of August? What is the shape that Taurus is shifting out of in the month of August? Okay, Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is energy of great change. Sometimes it can be everything feeling like it's up in the air, like things are uprooting you and turning your life on its head in a way, like changing direction or creating the winds of change coming in and kind of sweeping things up and shifting things in a pretty drastic way. Because with the Wheel of Fortune, I often get this like 180-degree turn, totally turning in the other direction kind of energy. And I mean, collectively, we've been experiencing so much change and so much upheaval. It makes sense that the Wheel of Fortune is showing up. So let's see where this is leading you. What is the shape Taurus is shifting into in the month of August? Okay, this did come out in reverse. Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is energy of being all up in your head. This is interesting. Feeling trapped when you're really not, it's just like your mental conceptions, the way you perceive things, feeling like you're trapped. But then what's beautiful about this card is this person is starting to slowly peek out from behind this blindfold. And they're starting to maybe see that they're not as trapped as they think, that actually they're free to move. Okay, that's interesting. Let's get the journey from the Wheel of Fortune to the Eight of Swords and get a little more information. So what does this shapeshift look and feel like for Taurus in the month of August? See what cards we got here. Ooh, yes. Oh, lovely. The star's coming out for you and for Aries. The star's been coming out for my collective moon cycle readings as well in the moon stories. If you don't know what I mean, go back and check on Instagram and Patreon the last, 6 moon stories. And you'll see what I mean. Okay, I'm I'm getting this message of a fear of change. You know, the Wheel of Fortune talks about these external circumstances that, you know, forces that we cannot control coming in and shifting our lives, shifting us in ways that are sometimes unexpected. But it's certainly, with the turning of the wheel, there is a relinquishing of control to this higher force that can come in and end the trajectory you were walking on to shift you in a new direction. In order to make a change like that or make a shift like that, you've got to let go of the reins. You've got to let go of the wheel, actually, and let the higher forces direct and steer your direction. And the Eight of Swords would be that mental energy that is afraid, you know, that wants to put in parameters and limitations and walls, actually, is what I'm getting. Because walls can make you feel safe. So when there are no walls here, the mind wants to create walls, and I'm seeing the wall being created as the blindfold, right? If you can sort of like condense your space, you can feel safer. You can feel safer, but that's not exactly, it's not exactly reality, right? It's just something that we do in our minds to make ourselves feel better sometimes. We put limitations where there really aren't any, so that we feel better or feel safer, or that so that we can stay in familiar territory of what we know. When in reality, the Wheel of Fortune is coming in with the winds of change, trying to blow us into a different direction. So I'm getting in the month of August, perhaps, Taurus, that you're dealing with a fear of change. There's a direction shift that has been coming into your life that maybe you've been resisting out of fear, right? Which makes a lot of sense. But maybe, Taurus, in the month of August, you're starting to peek out from your own mental confinement and your own limitations to see, okay, where is this change leading me? What happens if I let my walls come down? What happens if I remove these limitations and parameters? What could be possible for me? And here's why I say that. Part of the cards came out for how you get from point A to point B. I think how you start to accept that change and start to take your grip off of the wheel a bit, is by recognizing that actually you have more power and agency here than you think. And there could be a lot of creative opportunity to do something you've never done before. You know, like, yes, change can be really scary, but it can also be this opportunity to do something new, to push the boundaries of what you are used to blaze a new trail. And that's really the energy of the King of Wands here. It says the throne of fire. You know, maybe this is an opportunity to ignite that fire within you, Taurus, and begin to take on the energy of the magician, the creator, the creative, and say, oh, okay, there could be some opportunity here if I approach it with a little bit of flair, you know, a little bit of curiosity, a little bit of that fire energy, which ignites passion inside of us and pushes us to do bolder things than we might be used to doing. You know, it's like when the person in the Eight of Swords starts to peek up over that blindfold and that barrier, what they see waiting for them is this, which is pretty dang beautiful. What they see waiting for them is a powerful, creative being filled with passion and fire and sensuality and vitality and like the gumption to face this change with a heck yes, you know, to face that change and say, yeah, okay, I'm ready to not only accept the change, but to step to the forefront and be a trailblazer here. I'm ready to do something I've never done before. That's kind of the energy here. And I think finding that kind of excitement about whatever this change is actually helps you to find the joy. 3 of Cups, a sense of emotional alignment. Notice how this person is, oh wow, look, the open hands. I was just about to say they're sitting in like the contentment of joy and feeling surrounded by those they love, which I think is absolutely true here, Taurus, but also look at this. Open hands. The grip on the wheel being relinquished. And it's like when you relinquish that kind of control and let your mind open to this change, you can start to see that it might actually be benefiting you. And in that case, it's bringing you joy, empowerment, a side of yourself maybe that you don't normally see. If you can peek up over the limitations that you put in your own brain. You know what I mean? The third card that came out here is the Star. The Star has been coming out, again, as I've been saying, collectively and in individual readings I've been doing lately. And the Star is really talking about this higher purpose and like a larger journey at place that requires quite a bit of faith. And it asks you to find that faith and find hope in the fact that something higher is guiding you, that if the change is entering your life so intensely, it's not for no reason. It's moving you towards higher ground. That's what has been coming from the Star through the moon stories, is the Star is trying to move you to higher ground, right? It's trying to move you someplace better. But if you're staying here in this barren land, stuck in your own head and your own fear, it's going to be hard to move you to get you here. Now let's come back to the earthworm for a second and this inchworm. Perhaps this is talking a little bit about you wanting to go slowly and the Wheel of Fortune coming in and moving you a little faster than you want to go. Again, it's reminding you that there is a larger long game at work here. And I think to not get too stuck in the mud, like that Taurus energy can want to cling to the earth, let it move you at whatever pace it's going to move. I'm just like really being drawn in this Star here to the water, soaking the earth. When water pours onto the earth, when it rains, it can move the soil, especially if something is downhill, right? It can really cause quick runoff or quick erosion and taking the soil with it, taking the worms on a fast ride, you know, like on this journey that they're used to kind of moving slowly through the earth, no big deal. And then it pours and floods them and moves them quickly somewhere else. I think that might be what's happening here, Taurus. But it's like, again, in this water, in that flood, it's like here you are under that water, but actually realizing that when you let go of control, there's joy. There's so much joy. There's so much community and togetherness to be, and like feelings of emotional support surrounding you, bringing so much contentment and empowerment. But again, it's like if you can peek up over your own resistance to change. Taurus, I love this reading so far. Very, very interested to see where it's going to take you. So I'm going to take this reading into an extended now. I'm going to pull some more cards and get some more specifics into this energy and what exactly it's saying for you in the month of August. If you'd like to view that extended reading, click the link in the description box below, and that will take you over to Patreon. Patreon's a community that I've created online for folks that enjoy my work and want to go deeper. That sounds like you. Head on over there, read the description when you get there so you know how Patreon works, and I will send you the extended reading for August. All right, Taurus, thanks for tuning in. Take care. I'll talk to you soon. Part of what leads you to this open-handed, contented joy is you tapping into this version of yourself, stepping up as the queen, king of fire, embodying that fire. And like, the fire is the energy you need to rise to the challenge of the Wheel of Fortune, rather than cowering in the face of the Wheel of Fortune, which is like really easy for all of us to do. But rather than pull back and hide, the Wheel of Fortune here is asking you to come out and meet this with boldness, with curiosity, with an honesty that you don't know what you're doing here, that this is new territory for you, but again, like a curiosity about that, and allowing that newness to excite you in a way that lets you show up for the change.